When it comes to water filters that are compact and you can put inside of a bug out bag or a get home bag, why would I recommend that this bigger filter is better than this smaller filter? In this video, we're going to talk about it. Hey everybody, this is Praxis. During emergency events, I think one of the biggest challenges people face is access to drinking water. Now, there are a lot of different ways of purifying water, but if you're looking for a method that can fit easily into a backpack and can be used over a variety of different circumstances, I think that water filtration is probably one of the better options. Now, if you're going to filter water, there are a lot of different approaches that you can use. One of them is a device like this. This is a water filter. I use a device just like this when I go camping all the time. This is my backup one. That's why it's all nice and clean and shiny. But I think devices like this work really, really well. You take one end of the tube, you throw it into your water source, you screw a water bottle into the end here, you pump away, and you can fill up a water bottle with relative ease pretty quickly using a device like this. But there is a downside of devices that are built along these lines, and I think primarily it is size and weight. If you're throwing it into something that is not intended to be used for camping, but is rather something like a get home bag or like a bug out bag or something where you don't want to have a lot of really bulky stuff. You want to really minimize the size of everything. And with that as a consideration, I think that water straws, and this one's made by Membrane Solutions, I think make an awful lot of sense. And what I want to talk about in this video is some really nice upgrades on this water straw versus Membrane Solutions' old straw. This is their older straw. I've had this for a while, and this worked great. I was happy with this. As water straws go, it does what you expect, but this has some nice upgrades over that, and I wanted to talk about them in this video. One of the big things with water straws is I think a lot of people will buy these, throw them in their bag, and never really use them, never practice with them, and not really have a sense of how you would practically actually use this in an emergency situation. I think a lot of people kind of visualize it, well, it's a straw, so what you probably do something like this. You just take the top off, and then you got a water source, and you kind of get your straw down in there, and are you serious? I guess you could kind of do that, hunching over water, and that's the only time you can ever drink. But it really makes more sense not to, stick one end of this into the dirty water and suck up, through it. What makes more sense is to collect some water, have it in some kind of container that can travel with you, because you may not have water near you the entire time that you are traveling over whatever terrain you're in. You want to take advantage of it when you have it, and then carry it with you. In addition to that, if you can put water in some kind of a vessel, some of the sediment can kind of settle out of it, so it's not going to tax your water filter quite so much. So for that reason, like I said, something like this is nice because you can use it to fill up from a source. But if you want to do that with this, what you're really thinking about doing isn't what you do here, where you pump the water and make a vessel full of clean water. You want to fill a vessel full of dirty water and then kind of use it over time. And different water straws give people different options for how to do that. Most of them will screw onto something like a soda bottle. This one here does that as well, and it has this adapter, so it can screw onto various different types of containers, whether it's like a standard kind of water bottle or a soda bottle top. They've got this adapter, and I think that's pretty nice. But I think an even better way of doing this, because if you're walking across a landscape, if you're in a city environment, you're probably going to be able to find spare water bottles just kicking around, or old soda bottles kicking around. As to whether or not you want to put those up to your mouth, let's say, what if the emergency situation, and I know this is all on most people's radar, aliens invade by airdropping bird flu infected clown zombies. But you may not want to be picking up old soda bottles from the street and trying to drink through those things. Maybe some dude pissed in that soda bottle, you don't know. So I would recommend having something that you can carry with you to filter your water. Now, a soda bottle, it doesn't weigh very much, but it takes up a fair bit of volume in a backpack if you're just going to have it in there all the time. So a solution that I like to pair with things like this is one of these Camelback kind of bladders. This is really thin profile. You can just slide that in the back of your bag, or if you're kind of using it with your straw, you can kind of wrap them up inside of each other. I think this pairs really nicely. This one's 40 ounces here. And this is kind of actually a little bit on the smaller side. They've got a large port here that you can use to fill up from the stream. You always have kind of a tube that comes out with an end that you kind of bite on to get the water out. and that end comes off, and then you can plug this right into your life straw like that. And I think that this is a really nice pairing where you can have a couple of items that are pretty small. They're not going to take up a lot of room in your pack. They're not going to add a lot of weight to your pack, but you're going to get an awful lot of use out of them. And one of the things I like a lot with this type of device, and again, this is one of the big upgrades over their earlier version, is this one here. You can take the cartridge out and you can dry it out and clean it out. And I think that is a huge advantage. I'm just going to pop this one out right here. This cartridge comes out of it. This has a bunch of little tubes through it where all the tubes terminate up here, and then they're all bundled down on this end over here. And having all those tubes creates an enormous amount of surface area, so when you're sucking through it, it doesn't take a ton of suction in order to get the water to go through it. The way that this one is made, where you can dismantle it and clean out the parts and let them dry out, and that's really important, letting them dry out, it makes it so that this device becomes something that is kind of multi-use. It's not something where you use it once, you get water and junk in there, and then like it starts growing bacteria because it's got like the perfect environment for it. It's dark and moist, and it's got like, you know, all the crap that you soaked up from the, you know, whatever water source you were trying to drink from. I think that's a huge advantage. Devices like this have always been like that, where you open them up, you take all the parts out, you clean them, and then you can put them back together after they dried. And that, I think, really brings this to another level. If you're interested in any of these products, I'm going to put links down in the description below to these, but whatever type of you know, straw product that you might choose to get, you know, this is a particularly good one. I know this is a good one, but you know, there's lots of others out there. Make sure that you can dismantle it, because that is a really huge difference between having something that can serve you over, you know, quite a bit of time versus something that's really one use. And then if you try to use it after that, you know, it's like, who knows what the situation is going to be in there, you know, with bacteria growing and everything. That's it. I hope you found this video helpful, and thanks for watching. Hey YouTube preppers, if you enjoyed this video, here's another that I think you might like. But before you click on it, I wanted to take a moment to thank all the people you see on the right-hand side of your screen. They help to support all the work that I do here over at patreon.com. If you'd like to join them and get your name added to the list, the link's below.